Welcome everybody to Class 6 of the Breakthrough course. This is Illusion of Depth. We'll be discussing. So far, we've covered everything in basic fundamentals from values to shape, lighting, shadow. Plus, I touched on one-point perspective as Mengu covered the rest of perspective with 2-point and 3-point. So I wanted to go over this. This is more of more simplified version of perspective, and it's kind of breaking into composition, which I'll be covering soon. Immediately following this, probably next week. So I wanted to go ahead and get into this because this is very important, especially going into composition, and it really touches on perspective as well. So what I was going to cover is starting out first with size, and then going to placement on surface, and then atmosphere, and then overlapping, and then last we'll deal with details. Okay, and first I want to give like a general definition for each one. For size, size is basically objects that are closer to the viewer that appear larger than objects that are further off in distance. Okay. Then we have placement on the surface. And with placement on the surface, generally objects that are positioned lower on the picture plane, like say from the horizon, will appear closer than objects that are positioned higher on the picture plane that are on the horizon. Then we have atmosphere, which is basically objects that are closer to a viewer that appear darker in value or warmer in color than objects that are further away and appear lighter in value or cooler in color. Okay, and then we have overlapping, which is an object that is positioned in front of another object. Part of that object behind it may be blocked from the view. So this is called overlapping. Okay. So then we got details. And details is objects that are closer appear more detailed than objects that are further away. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. If you can, please hold off on questions till the end, or I may answer your questions, during periods of the class. All right, so let's get started with size and placement first. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's just do something simple. All right, just to show the size. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just start off simple, and I'm going to show you like a few examples of difference in size. So let's start off here, and let's go ahead and just create a circle. Let's go and create a circle. All right, and then let's create another circle. Okay. And basically what art is illusion of depth. It's creating an illusion to fool the person that's viewing it. So you're creating an illusion out of a 2D surface. So right here we have two spheres, and as you can see, the one on the left obviously appears as if it's further away, just from its size alone. Okay? So if we take another sphere, and we go like right there, then you can see with the size, it looks even further away. Alright? So let's take another one. right there, and even looks even further away. So we can keep on going back, and as you can see, there's a pattern that follows it, right? So you're going from like there to there to there, and then so on. Okay. And this also, you know, I'm going to leave that up. Um, this also applies to other things too. Let's go ahead and let's do like like a cloud. Okay. Yeah, so we got a cloud right there, right? So then let's do another one like, I don't know, let's say like down here or something. So we got a cloud right there. Instinctively, the eye, tells you that the one on the left is further away because of the size difference. All right. So now let's put another one a little bit even further, or a little bit even smaller. So as it gets smaller, it gets further, and it don't matter where you place it, as far as size is concerned, um, but just size. But the smaller it gets, you can see, um, the further it looks away, right? Okay. So that's another example. And really, it's just all just self-explanatory. So now let's do another example. Let's say like a tree. All right. So now we're doing like a little tree. Okay. So now let's do another tree, like right here. It's a little bit smaller than that one. All right. So now let's do another tree. Okay. And as you can see, and plus the higher they get, the more they seem, further away too. Um, Now I know trees vary in different, and they differ in size, as does clouds. But but as you can see, the illusion, you know, that it creates, it makes it seem like the objects are further away from one another. Okay, so that's size, and that's more of a simplified uh, that's more of a simplified part of this. So now let's go ahead and move on to placement. All right. So placement, we're dealing with the horizon, and for the horizon, um, the object that is positioned lower on the plane appears to be closer than an object that is positioned, closer to the horizon or higher on the plane. So let's go ahead and just do a simple circle again and put it on the horizon itself. All right. And then we'll put another circle right here. Actually, let's do one the same size, and you'll see just by the circle being on the horizon itself, um, it appears to be further away because it tricks the eye basically. Same thing if I put a circle right here and I put like one right here. it just suddenly, it automatically just, it touches on the perspective too, with the vanishing points. Um, the object, you know, automatically, just appears further away just because it's on the horizon. Okay. And generally, in a, when we see things, of course, they are going to appear larger in the front than an object that's, back in the distance, unless it's like, like a giant piece or whatever, giant house, a giant human or something like that. Building, whatever. So, so let's go ahead and make the oops. Let's go ahead and make the object larger because that's generally what it would be like anyway. And you can see a increasing difference in the size. Okay, but even from these over here, you can see the difference. Um, you know, one doesn't have to be bigger than the other. You can see the difference in the distance just from the trick in your eye with the horizon. All right. Now let's use a different example. Let's see. Let's clear that out. And let's play some let's play something else like some houses. All right. So I pre-made these, and they're the same size, right? But because this one is on the horizon, then this one right here feels like it's closer. And of course, the one on the horizon feels like it's, further in distance, even with the same size. It's not much, but because of the horizon, it gives you um, that feel. It gives you that, illusion that it is further away. All right, now let's do another one. Um, all right, so now over here, we have a lower horizon. We have the house on the horizon, and we have another house the same size, but once again, you know, there's a similar difference. There's a somewhat difference because of the horizon. It's not much, but because of the horizon, it does seem that there's some distance in between the two, or one's further back. Okay, so here's another example. Now the horizon is actually higher, so it's a little bit higher up on the plane, on the canvas, but same difference, same thing. Okay. So yeah, so that's size and placement. Um, I'll show you another example, like let's say like with the trees. All right, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay. So let's say like another example with the trees. Give me just a second. Yeah, I might want to keep one of those. All right, So let's like draw a tree. And the horizon is really important to be, like a guideline, to guide the viewer's eye. And we'll be touching a lot more on this too in like composition. So it's kind of like a crash course before we hit into composition, which is very, very important. One of the most important things that you could have in your art. All right, so we got a tree right there. So now let's place another one right here. And basically, we're just using, kind of using, like the size variation too. And let's go and place another one back here. All right, so see how the trees are going further back? But let's say like, you have the same size tree. So you have a tree, basically the same size. Because this one is on the horizon, then this one right here appears closer as the other one appears further away. So that's just a few ways to trick, to give the illusion, to trick the viewer's eye into thinking that, okay, well, this object is closer and that object's further away, and then so on and so forth. So everybody follow that so far? Any questions? So does that all make sense? Okay. All right. So now, since we covered that, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next one, which is overlapping. Um, hold on a second. Clear this out. All right. So with overlapping, basically it's self-explanatory. So what you have is you have an object overlapping another object, all right, which gives the illusion of depth. So let's say let's draw something here. Let's just create a shape. Well, let's do something simple first, and then I'll create something else. All right, so let's just do a circle. All right, and then let's just do like the same size circle. Okay. So now let's erase. Let's erase one. All right. And as you can see, even the same size, this one appears closer than this one. All right. Even if they're side by side because of the overlapping. Um, yeah, Garfield's eyes. Uh, but you guys understand like the simplicity of it? Um, that, like this one appears closer just because of this little overlapping right here. All right. And then if you want to get more, um, if you want to increase it more, then here, just let me do it just, just something more organic. Um, just, I don't know, like a rock or something. Okay, so then we have another one, and of course this one looks closer because of the overlap, right? So then let's do another one. And you see how it's flowing back? Let's do another one. See, even in size, because of the overlapping, you can still see the distance. You can still see which one's, which one's first, which one's second, third, fourth, and then so on, So that's pretty much um, like a simplified, explanation of overlapping. And this applies to anything. Uh, there's not really much I can really go over with overlapping. I mean, that's pretty much in a nutshell. That's what it is. If you were like doing like a landscape, okay, um, and then you did like, one going this way, all right, then you did one going this way, and then another one, all right. You can clearly see the difference because of the overlapping, because this one's overlapping this one, and this one's overlapping this one, um, and then this one's overlapping this one, all right. So just with the overlapping alone, it's a powerful tool you can use, along with size and along with placement, all right. But just because of the overlapping alone, you can see, you know, you can give the illusion, hey, this is going from foreground to middle ground on further back, until, all the way to background. Okay? All right, so that's overlapping. So, any questions on that one? And welcome everybody that's just joining. Um, so if we don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and move on to the next one. All right. So now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to atmosphere. All right. And we have quite a few things that you can use with atmosphere to achieve the illusion of depth. Um, like in composition, um, you know, just with different, just with any art, basically. Um, I know a lot of old masters used all these techniques to achieve different paintings. Let's see. Let me get. Let's see. Where's it at? All right. So let's. Okay. So first we're gonna start with values. All right. And this is just gonna be a simple explanation. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a circle. Let's start with black. Okay. And anything that's closer. Oops. What was that? Anything that's closer in like a darker, or anything that's a darker value appears closer. Okay. So anything that falls further back in value um, from dark to light appears further away. Okay, so there's an example, and and then as we get lighter, then we give the illusion that things are getting even further away. And these are all the same size, but because of the difference in value, if I zoomed back on this, you can see that the the black the the black appears closer, right? Even if I go way back, zoom way back, you can see, you can just click the eye just knows what to see. It knows what it's looking for. It you know it just tells the eyes that, okay, well, the black's closer. As it fades further back, then it just gives that illusion that it's going further back. Okay, same thing applies with other objects. So we just had we just had like a landscape, you know. Um, Anything that's dark and darker in value always appears closer, no matter what. Let's copy that down, and let's let's do that. All right, and you see how it appears to be going further back just by value alone. Let's do another one. Let's see. Okay, so see how it appears to be going further back just from value alone? And once again, if I zoom in or zoom out, um, you see it from farther away. You can really tell. Okay. All right. So let's clear that out. All right. So what are we doing now? Color. All right. With color, um, and we're not gonna go. I'm not gonna go deep into this because we'll be digging into like color theory and everything this next month. But I'm just gonna give you like a simple explanation of color. With color, anything that's of warmth, like orange, red, yellow, anything like that appears closer than anything that falls into a cooler color, which is like blue, purple, green. So, um, I'll show you an example. So I'm just going to do like a bright orange here, like a bright orange um, sphere. Okay. And then right next to that, I'm gonna do a blue. All right. And because the orange is more warm, is more like intense, the blue appears even if it's right next to each other, the blue appears as if it's receding or you know going back. You know, the orange just it pops more. Okay. Now if we um let's just do like even if even if the box is smaller for the orange, it's still more intensified than the blue, and that's just because cooler colors recede and fall further back. So that's just the illusion of it. So that's pretty much, that's pretty much color. Not really too much to go over with color right now. Like I said, we'll be covering that more later. Um, so let's go ahead and move to contrast. Um, so with contrast, anything that has more contrast appears closer than something that has less contrast. All right. So let's just create a box and let's give it a few dots. Kind of like a dice. Okay. And then let's create another one. All right, but let's lower the contrast on it. Um, let's see. So let's lower the contrast on it. Oops. Maybe not like that. Yeah, let's lower the contrast on it, like that. Okay. And it kind of plays into the realm of value too. But yeah, so something that has like a higher contrast, where basically things conflict with each other more, like white conflicts with black a lot because it's two opposite sides. The same thing can apply to colors. um, it just instantly appears as if it's closer, even if the objects are right next to each other. And then of course, if you take the object and you know change the size difference, of course it's going to make a huge difference. And then if you even add more contrast, say like you add some you know, some texture or something. Let's see. Let's try this. So you add some like texture or something, um, you know, that's really gonna make it pop. Or details. And of course, as objects get further back too, you know, they also, you know, they kind of lose detail and they kind of, you know, they kind of get blurred out. Which I'll be touching on details here um, as well. But that's pretty much contrast. Um, Now we'll go ahead and we'll do saturation. And I'll show you saturation basically applies to colors. So I'll show you an example of, let's go with the orange again. All right. Oops, not that. All right, so let's go with the orange again. Get it off a gradient. All right. So let's copy that down and let's lower the opacity. Let's move that right there. All right. Let's copy that down. Lower the opacity a little bit more. And let's move that one over. Okay. And as you can see, it's kind of like values. All right. Um, with the saturation of the color, anything that's more saturated appears closer, and anything that's less saturated appears further away. So it's basically just it's really self-explanatory. Um, and the same thing is let's try a different object. You guys have any questions so far? This stuff makes sense? It's not too difficult. You know, once you can you guys still hear me? It's not too difficult once you apply it, and you practice and stuff. Um, it's really it's just basically common sense. You just think about stuff that comes closer to you and stuff that recedes further away. And a lot of it is just, tricking the mind, tricking the eyes, giving the illusion that, you know, that's happening. All right. And these are just tools uh, to help you with that. Okay. So now let's go ahead. Here, I'll do one more example of a color real quick. With so Tanshi's question is, oh wait, hold on. Melanie got a question first. How do you tell if a color is warmer or colder than another? Um, well, I don't want to get too in depth in colors right away, because I will be covering that this next month coming up. But uh, basically, the rule of thumb is cooler colors are in the range of, like blues, purples, greens, um, indigo, uh, whereas warmer colors is like, orange, yellow, reds, kind of like think of it like as a flame to ice, all right? If you think of it like, let's see, so we got, yeah, just think of it like fire and ice. So if we got fire, okay, so we got fire, and then we got ice. You can instantly see that the fire is much more intense than the ice. Okay, but I'll be going into more color theory and warm versus cool colors and complementary colors and monochrome. Uh, what, what else? Analogous, all that stuff. I'll be covering all that in this next month. So we'll be going more in depth in the colors, um, pretty soon. I mean, me myself, I need to, I need to learn colors too because colors is difficult for myself also. So, but I mean, that's just a basic layout. Um, you know, yeah. I mean, that's just the general rule of thumb right there. Is cool falls into like, like I said, the blues area, and then the warms fall into like more of the orange area. So, all right. So it's pretty much how to achieve something with atmosphere, how to achieve distance, the illusion of depth with atmosphere. All right. So now let's kind of take a few of these and roll them all into one. What was Tan's question? Cool colors are like the colors you would see in the winter. Warm are what you see in autumn and summer. Yes. The smoke. Um, well, smoke pretty much is kind of like um, plays into the value range. Um, Here, I'll just let me do a quick example of smoke for you. Hold on. All right. Or like a cloud. Let's just do a cloud. And darker, yeah, darker is closer. So let's just do some clouds real quick. So just some dark clouds. So I'm trying to make a distance. And it's kind of some rough clouds, but so I'm just like creating distance with like the values and stuff. And of course, clouds, they got different forms on them too. So, they appear darker underneath. Same thing with smoke, smoke appears um, like it's smoke is kind of like clouds in a way. You have the dark surface underneath, and then it's just basically like smooth values transitioning is is what it's like. And each cloud has its own, transition, its own, values and contrast and everything. Okay, does that make sense? Like say like you have smoke. Okay, well, I'm not gonna get too in depth on different things. I'm just basically going over the basics of illusion of depth. Um, we can mess around with it in stream sometime if you want. Um, just grab like a piece of reference of smoke and see how it plays off, or even clouds. You know, if you guys want to join me in stream for that, that's cool. We can do that. But right now, I just want to give the basic explanation of uh, you know the illusion of depth. So yeah. All right. So right now, I'm going to give an example real quick um, of basically like a human up to in comparison with another human that's larger in comparison. That's cool. That's cool, Tanchi. Like I said, we can go over that in my stream if you want. Um, actually, we can do it after this if you want, because I'm curious myself. But yeah. So let's all right. So let's go ahead and let's apply like a few things that was discussed. And right now, you see the human, the smaller human, in comparison with the larger one. of course, the larger one seems closer, right? This one seems closer than this one does, just because of the size difference. Okay. All right. So now let's do something different. Let's move the let's move the smaller one down and move the larger one up. Oops. I'm just going to show you difference in illusion as, as they're, kind of moved around the canvas. I don't want to do that. Decrease the size on him, and let's make it appear as he's moving up. Yeah, kind of like David and Goliath, yeah. Let's keep him right there. All right. So now let's just add a little bit of atmosphere to him. Let's kind of fade him out a little bit. Let's kind of fade him out a little bit. All right, why ain't it doing it? Okay. All right. Okay, I think, all right, never mind. Okay, so yeah, so like we're fading him out. So now, just with that little, atmosphere, and moving him back and up, this guy instantly appears closer down below. So now he appears closer than him, and it's kind of like, giant, kind of like David versus Goliath, like what Tanshi said. So yeah, so just with the difference in atmosphere, you can make something look larger or smaller than what it actually is. Or you can change you know, or even vice versa. Let's say, let's say we move him, the bigger guy. Let's say we move him down. All right, and put him right there. Oops. Yeah. Yeah. So let's move him down. Put him right there. Now let's take the small guy and move him up. Okay. And now let's place horizon on horizon line. So let's place the horizon line right there. And now the small guy appears further back, and the large guy, appears. Of course, he appears closer with shape too, with size. But the smaller guy appears even further back. When you place him on the horizon. And then if we add atmosphere to that as well, we add atmosphere to that as well, and then the guy appears even further back. Okay. So we're about reaching the end of this class. Yeah, it appears, yeah, smaller, a lot smaller. So you can do that either way, it's, small guy in the front, large guy in the back. And that can also apply to, all kinds of different things. Buildings, whatever. So yeah, so like we're approaching the end of this class. You guys have any questions? Everything makes sense. Like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory. Um, it just 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 have to apply it, put it into practice. If you guys have any further questions, I'll be more than happy to try to answer them if I can after class. This is more structured. Um, Basically, we're just going over the simplicity of it. But yeah, I mean, this is a good thing to know. It's a good thing to apply to your art, um, along with everything else that we covered so far. And then uh, and then we'll be moving into composition next week. So this is in between Mengu's perspective and my composition that I'll be showing you guys next week. And that's pretty much it. Reaching around 9 o'clock right now, and that's pretty much all I had. That's pretty much all I had to show you guys as far as this is concerned. So I hope y'all got something out of it. Hope it was hope it was educational.